On today's episode of Stages of Art, I chat with two individuals who work in office settings by day, but light up the entertainment scene at night. Stay tuned for HubCity's Darren Blois and Talent NB's Jacinda Lefebvre, aka Kyann Pepper, and musical guest Ben Buchanan. My first guest is passionate about theater in all its forms and could have easily been a consultant on the script for Legally Blonde the musical. He's an attorney at law by day and moonlights as a theater actor and producer by night. Darren Blois is here to talk about the latest projects of Moncton's own HubCity Theater Company. Welcome, Darren.
How you doing, CJ?
Oh, so good to see you.
You too.
Right off the tails of the very successful Jesus Christ Superstar.
It was awesome.
We're going to talk about that in a bit. But first, I want to talk about you and your journey in theater. So what sparked your interest in theater? How long have you been doing it?
I was a kid, grade 4, and the school play was on, and I thought this was a lot of fun. And then you go through your teenage years, and you're trying to find something you're good at, you awkward kind of kid. And
you weren't good at everything?
No, God, no. I was, one of those kids that kind of less popular, one of the nerds, but I could sing and dance and act, so they put me in my show. Yeah, I found my tribe, exactly.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. I also started in 4th grade.
Yeah.
What was your first play? Mine was The King in the Kitchen.
It was called Moon River. I played a mushroom.
Moon River?
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
based on the song, Moon River. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Andy Williams.
I'm sure it's great.
I'm a little older than you.
So where did you grow up, actually? I don't know that.
I grew up in BC, Vernon, BC.
Okay, I knew it wasn't in Moncton.
Yeah, I've been here 15 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Moncton?
A girl.
A girl.
Yeah.
Classic story. So what is it that you love so much about theater once you discovered it, and as you've continued to perform and be involved in it over the years? What sets it apart from other art forms? What makes it so special to you?
It's, for me, I've been involved in so many different aspects of it. I started as an actor, but now I'm getting more involved in production and learning how to direct, and I'm finding it just consumes my mind, like work used to do when I was young, but doesn't anymore. You said I was moonlighting as an actor. I'd rather be the other way around.
I know.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of fun. It makes me think. It gives my outlet for my creative juices.
It's stimulating.
And it's super fun, and you meet a lot of great people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah, exactly. We've never done a show together.
We haven't. We'll have to change that in the future. So obviously you've been involved in HubCity Theater for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Are you a board member?
I am.
He's on the board.
Yeah.
So tell me about a little bit of HubCity history, some of the milestone productions that you've seen.
Sure. My HubCity grew out of a group of Crandall University students that when they graduated and didn't have school shows to do, they made a company up.
Right.
And they've been doing Shakespeare since probably 15,
since
20
the
years.
Renaissance.
Yeah, a long time. And then they started doing contemporary and plays, and there's some really good ones. I was in, first show I did with them was Star Wars, of all things. We did a radio play of Star Wars, and that was
like
a lot of fun.
every Star Wars episode ever?
The first one.
Okay, I was like, that
Hope.
would have gone on for a year. You'd still be recording that.
Yeah, no, we did A New Hope. I was C-3PO.
Okay.
And that was my first thing. And then we did Shakespeare. My first Shakespeare was Comedy of Errors. And we've done some great contemporary plays. Almost Maine last year was a lot of fun.
Almost Maine. Yeah, talk about that a little bit. I saw that.
It's
it was
hilarious.
really cool.
Yeah, very cool. We did it outside at Centennial Park, making that our little village. And it was cold, though. Late April's a little too early to be doing an outdoor show in Moncton.
So a year later now, are you feeling...
I'm warmed
you've
up
warmed
now.
up a little bit?
Well, we did our last show inside. Really great venue at the
That's what changed it.
Yeah.
Totally. So Shakespeare in the Park is obviously a thing.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite roles or shows, Shakespeare in the Park shows that you've done?
Well, the funniest to watch, I wasn't in 12th Night, but that was hilarious.
It's
when
was
just
that
a funny play. That was probably 2018, something like that.
Okay.
My favorite to be in was probably Richard III.
Okay.
I played Richard's brother, who stood in between him and the throne, and he had to have me killed, so John Mackenzie had me drowned in a bucket of wine.
Oh,
what a great way to go.
I love being the death victim in theater. Isn't it fun?
Oh, because you have a great role, you do your bit, and you're
and then
out
you're
for the
done.
rest of the show.
You just get to watch the rest of it.
Although we come back as a ghost.
I was going to say, unless they make you come back, which they always do.
Yeah.
That's always a quick turnover. One time I did a dinner theater show where I played a set of twins, male and
Both of them?
female. So we got killed off as the woman and came back as her twin brother like 30 seconds later.
That sounds like a bad soap opera.
It essentially was set in a small rural Nova Scotia town. So let's talk about HubCity's latest endeavor, Jesus Christ Superstar.
That was a big ask of the board because we'd never done any kind of musical.
Right, and it was your idea, essentially, right?
Me and JB Vanier. We had, after doing Almost Maine, we were talking about what to do next, and I have always wanted to do a musical, and I was pushing HubCity to do a musical, and we found out that it's both our favorite musicals. So, it started out, I don't think we can do it. HubCity's never done this before, and then, well, maybe we could, and then finally
and
he
then
said,
after the 16th year, let's do it!
JB said, do you want to do a musical? So we did Jesus Christ Superstar, and it just exceeded all of our expectations, because it was a big risk. We'd never done a musical before. Yeah. We had a bunch of new people that we'd never worked with before, and so it's not an inexpensive show.
No.
So a lot of risks, but it just came off to like magic.
Well, the reception was amazing. Yeah. Tickets were hard to come by, right?
By the end.
Yeah.
Typical Moncton audience, though. A week before the show, we weren't sure we were going to break even. But
get your tickets early,
please,
Moncton.
Please.
Let's change this culture. So let's talk a bit about the cast and the crew. They gelled really well.
Awesome.
We had band members from Tuda Musica.
We did.
And it was a co-production between Tuda, HubCity, and 1890.
That's right.
Junction Co.
Yeah.
1890 Junction Co. That's a mouthful.
1890 Junction Theatre Co.
Junction Theatre Co.
Yeah.
Yes.
Robin Essen, who I think was an earlier guest of yours.
Yes,
that's her
she
group.
choreographed, and then Andrew Moore, who you would have seen on a previous episode, was the guitarist in the band.
Yep.
Shredding.
Yeah,
Is this how you shred?
He played great. The band, we couldn't have done the show without a band. I mean, we talked for 5 seconds about having tracks because it's much cheaper, but it just wouldn't have been the same experience.
No, they were really part of it, right?
Yeah.
It felt it's a rock concert, right?
Absolutely.
So you need to see the band. And I was like, what were some of the challenges? You mentioned obviously it's a lot of money that goes into this, working with new people, collaborating.
Yeah, we had a few. Well, one of our challenges was that our cast is being so talented, they're in demand, and a lot of them were in Sound of Music, which ran up until about 3 weeks before our show time. So we really had to cram our rehearsals. I mean, we obviously did some music work and some early blocking, but we really crammed in the last 3 weeks, and it was really tiring by the end of it.
I believe it. And then doing 2 shows in a day.
Yeah, 2 shows in a day. That was new to me.
How do you feel? Yeah, how do you feel about doing 2 shows in a day? Like in like 2 words, tell us what that feeling is.
Hard to come up and down. 2 words. Hard to come up and down.
Up and down.
Yeah, the adrenaline. You got to get up for a show, and you're so excited, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're wired, and now you got to kill 4.5 hours till your next show.
And
then get back up again.
And then get out of the nap mode. Yeah.
I can't nap. But I just was on edge all day, and it's just it's hard, but it was a lot of fun doing 2 shows in a day, and it give me a slightest glimpse of what a real professional actor does doing 8 shows a week. We did 6 in 5 days.
Right, which is it's no joke. Yeah, it's hard to imagine. Theater is hard work. I don't think a lot of people appreciate that it's not. I'm tired. Let's take a 15-minute break. Like
it's exhausting because you're mentally on all the time. You always have to know where to be, what you're doing, singing, what's going on with the people in the show.
Around you.
Yeah, and physically, you're dancing, you're moving, you're going up and down. I was going up and down stairs a lot. My perch as a high priest was up high. They're fine now. The dancers, though, had some bruised knees from sliding on the floor. It's challenging in every respect.
But equally fulfilling, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel the exact
exciting.
same way. Darren, thanks so much for being here and telling us about HubCity and your journey in theater.
My pleasure.
Let's do a show sometime soon.
You bet.
By day, my next guest studies and works in organizational management, and by night, she teaches aerial arts and burlesque at The Studio. Her latest endeavor, Talent NB, has been spicing up Moncton's live entertainment scene for a whole year now. Please welcome Jacinda Lefebvre, aka Kyann Pepper. Hi, Kyann.
Hi.
May I call you Miss Pepper?
Yes.
So you've been doing aerial arts for 10 years now?
Yep.
Okay, give me a bit of a timeline. How did that start? And how did you get into teaching it?
What's interesting is I look back at my time at Pink Fitness is what it used to be called. It's now called The Studio.
You're pink and you're fit.
Yeah, I try. And I look back and I remember doing an actual burlesque class very first, and I have a picture, I need to find it, of me in a pink boa. And it didn't turn into the beginning of my burlesque life. I then went into like pole fitness and just kind of did that for, I think it's been over 10 years.
Okay.
And now I am an instructor at the studio.
So how long were you sort of practicing and taking classes before you said, I'm gonna teach this now?
I honestly don't know. I feel like maybe at least 5 years of teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did it for 5 years, and then you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach people my stuff.
I very quickly started working at the desk at Pink Fitness too, so I immediately kind of went
You're
in.
like, this is my place.
Yeah.
These are my people.
Yeah.
I'll scrub floors.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you'll do it fabulously.
Absolutely.
What other styles and disciplines have you explored at the studio? I know, how does burlesque sort of relate to aerial, and how do they intertwine, literally and not literally?
Yeah. We do so much at the studio. It's the best place because I went in as a pole dancer and I came out. I now do a sensual floor work class called Liquid Motion. And we teach chair dance, kind of like lap dancey. We're recently adding burlesque in there, pole dancing, handstands, aerial silks, aerial hoop.
So it's like a mini little circus academy.
Yeah.
That's essentially
Yeah.
what it is. If you want to become a circus performer, take her classes at the studio,
Yeah.
which is on Louisville Road?
Yes.
On Louisville Road.
Yes.
Now let's talk about Talent NB. Yeah. What is it, and what was your inspiration and objective for starting this new endeavor?
I was reintroduced to burlesque by my friend Destiny, and she did a workshop at the studio for 9 weeks, and I took the 9-week program. I couldn't run to my credit card fast enough to pay for it when it posted, and after that, I was just engulfed, I just needed more in my life, and so Kyann Pepper was born, and then in June 2022, I created the business.
Okay, so what is the business? What is it all encompass?
So originally it was, I want to do burlesque and I want to be able to do it on a stage.
Okay.
So it was that, and then it grew bigger into burlesque, drag. I want anyone to come up on a stage and do anything that is their talent. So it became more of like a talent agency or production company.
Yeah.
And recently discovering now that we are creating this safe space community that I didn't know was going to happen.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say, I did one show with the group in December, and everything that I saw there, and since it's just so inclusive, and you're bringing people in who might not have the confidence to perform, but you're making them feel safe and praised, and that there's room for anyone to be a performer.
Yeah.
So what kinds of besides I guess conventional burlesque, what does that even mean? What other things could people see at a Talent NB show? So far we've done burlesque, drag, and then there's this little in between where you're not necessarily doing either, but you're theatrical on stage. And it's just really amazing to see, the next show that we have someone doing hula hoop stuff that I've never seen in real life, so it's really cool. Yeah. Fire? Has there been any fire yet?
We're trying. The venues don't love
that's
throwing fire around.
Well, actually, I've got...
But actually, I did just learn that there's a famous burlesquer that has fire tassels.
Oh.
And I'm intrigued.
Are they attached to the body?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did a show once where somebody had to swallow just a little bit of fire for a second.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. The doctor, will this hurt me? Just a little bit is okay. That's why we're performers and not doctors.
Yes,
We don't.
yes.
We just do things, and
Yes.
if it goes up in flames, well, The show was fun.
Exactly.
So, I know that you've talked in the past about how sort of conventional dance and performance settings didn't really work for you. You've struggled. Give me a bit of some insight into that and how you're able to push through that and find a performance style that works for you.
Yeah, so growing up, I was never, I want to say like good enough. I didn't make it onto the teams of dancing or anything like that. And I look back and I can laugh at that now because I realize it's because I can't, or not can't, you can do anything. I didn't fit in with a group because I can't count to music. I can't like get that vibe, but individually at the studio and at Pink Fitness, it was very much all about your personal journey. And I find that's what allowed me to grow as a dancer, individual.
I love that you just called yourself a dancer because that's the big thing about being an art. No, it's true. It takes a lot of courage to call yourself, I am this, I do this, I belong here. And just because you don't necessarily adhere to conventional methods or you have a different way of learning doesn't take any merit away from the fact that you're an artist and the art that you create. And so that's why I wanted to talk about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I think that that's something that you figured out for yourself, and you're also sharing that with other people.
Yes, I love sharing that I came from not a dancer. I came from like negative dancer experience to being a dancer and being able to teach people in a way that fits for them. Because I don't love when someone comes in and it's like, oh my God, you're so flexible, you're so this, you're so this. Like I didn't get that from any training other than like dancing on my own kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so everyone can do it, their own journey, their own way.
You can Fleetwood Mac song.
Yes.
So yeah, what's something, what's on the horizon for Talent NB? I feel like there's something creeping up maybe next year. Can you give us a bit of a hint, a taste of that?
There's short-term, long-term, and future. Long-term, there is a plan in the works to have something in the more broader Atlantic region.
Okay.
It's currently being worked on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that's all you're getting.
If you're in Atlantic Canada and you
Yes.
like to perform
Yeah.
and you're a little different, you're a little weird,
Yes.
this might be something for you.
Yeah.
Where can people, if people want to get involved or they just want to know what Kyann Pepper's doing, the studio and Talent NB, give us all the websites, all the socials.
Sure. So Kyann Pepper is Kyann Pep on Instagram. And then Talent NB, you can find Instagram, Facebook. Those are
all one word, Talent NB.
Yes, and then the studio is the Studio Aerial Arts and Fitness.
The Studio Aerial Arts
It is owned by my friend Annika Russell.
Annika, I love that name.
And she's also a burlesque performer.
Yes.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's a great place. I love starting there. Like even if I want someone to be a burlesque performer, I'll still send them there. We don't necessarily learn burlesque every day there.
Okay.
But doing the pole dancing, meeting the people.
They're the building blocks.
Yeah,
the building
it's
blocks.
the beginning of the community, I feel.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the beginning and learning, I'm wondering if you will teach me a burlesque skill.
I sure could.
I am so excited. Okay, get ready for a segment called Skilled It. Okay, so what are you gonna teach me, Kyann?
All right, I'm gonna teach you, do you remember the bend and snap?
Yes, I do.
Okay, similar but more sass.
Okay.
Okay.
Are
so
you being Elle Woods today? Because you've got the pink and you've got the blonde.
maybe that's my inspiration.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah.
teach me, what are we gonna do?
So you can do a hair whip,
Okay.
but pretend you're picking something up.
Oh.
So instead of just stepping out, going down and going, whoop,
Here's my
picking that up,
pencil.
you want to lift the chest.
Oh,
You're leading
lift?
with the chest.
Okay.
You're going to trace down that left leg.
I love tracing.
Yes. You're gonna pick that piece of dirt up.
Oh!
And then you're gonna bring it back up
Uh-huh.
and hair whip. Yeah. To add flexibility to it,
Uh-huh.
if you want to bend the the right
I feel like
knee,
we're doing Michael Jackson moves.
bend. It's the bend and step. So bending the right knee will allow you to bend further and grab the tip of the toe.
Tip
so
of the toe.
It looks like your flexibility.
Yes.
And then when you come on up, let the head hang,
Ooh.
and then hair whip.
And then, fabulous pencil. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more go. I'm gonna give it one more go. Okay.
Okay.
I'm on my own now.
Okay, you got it.
I'm leaving the nest.
Leave.
Okay. Oh no, I dropped my Kleenex. Oh, I gotta blow my nose. Oh my gosh. Oh, here it is! All right, today my musical guest is Ben Buchanan, known on the internet as BRB Making Music.
That's it.
Yeah, I like it. So you've been playing guitar for a long time.
Since I was about 12, so about 21 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you currently teach guitar lessons at Long and McQuaid.
Guitar, bass, drums, piano, ukulele, banjo.
Wow, if your kid wants to be a musician, come see this guy.
Yeah.
What song you're going to be playing for us today?
I'm going to be playing Passenger.
Passenger. And tell us a little bit about what the song's about.
So Passenger comes from driving on the highway late at night. There's a stretch of highway between Moncton and Sackville that's about 6 or 7 kilometers, like a straight shot. And when you're driving late at night and there's nobody else on the highway, it can feel kind of lonesome. So what I would do is I would just kind of conjure up somebody next to me so it's not such a lonely drive. So
Okay, and this is sort of your conversation with them.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so this is Ben Buchanan with Passenger. They can find your music on
Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, anywhere where you stream music.
Awesome.
Yep.
Take it away, Ben Buchanan and Passenger.
Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of my guests today, Darren Blois, Kyann Pepper, and of course, Ben Buchanan. Stay tuned next week for more exciting guests from Greater Moncton's art scene. And remember, the arts are the universal language. Take care.